This month marks the 2-year anniversary of the death of Cary Owsley in Columbus. His death was ruled a suicide, but his sister has never accepted that conclusion. She says her brother, a black man, was murdered, and in his case is revealing a pattern of nepotism within the county sheriff's department. The claims are bold, but she's been relentless in her campaign to reveal the truth. And as Casey Kuhn reports, the case has caught the attention of the FBI.
Cary Owsley was found dead in his house on April 7, 2013. His wife found him lying in a chair that had been tipped backward. She also found a gun wrapped in cloth on the floor. Bartholomew County Police and coroner came on the scene shortly after and ruled it a suicide. Statements from Owsley's wife and stepsons pointed to a history of depression and suggestions of suicide to a psychiatrist. But Cary's sister, Cheryl Owsley Jackson, believes the investigation was mishandled and that her brother would never have killed himself.
The day my brother died, he called his own 21-year-old son and asked him to come to help him move. So he was moving out of the house. So with his truck backed up to the door, some of his possessions in his truck, we're supposed to believe that he stopped and shot himself. We don't.
A forensic expert in Louisville, after hearing of the case, looked into the death scene on his own time. He says the path of the bullet through the body and where the bullet hole was found on the crime scene don't add up.
It is not true that if you were sitting in the chair when you were shot, as it goes in here, out the back, and hits the spindles, that is not consistent with the suicide if that bullet hole in the wall is associated with this wound.
Smock also says the bullet would not have enough energy to knock Owsley back like his wife says she found him at the scene.
Based on what I've seen, the inadequate investigation by the sheriff's office, the trajectories, right now I have a lot of questions.
At a hearing earlier this month at the Bartholomew County Courthouse, dozens of residents protested the way Owsley's case has been handled. At the hearing, Jackson's attorney argued Owsley's widow, Lisa, should be removed from Cary's estate because of what he called suspicious circumstances of death. Those circumstances include Lisa's ex-husband, Dwayne Janes. He was a Bartholomew County Sheriff's deputy and was allowed on the scene shortly after Owsley was found. According to police reports, he handled evidence and helped move the body.
Any police officer knows that if it's a case where you know the people involved, you don't belong on the scene. There's nothing you can do but raise suspicion.
DeVere Woods chairs the Criminology department at Indiana State University. He says with what he's seen of the case, the sheriff's department could have taken steps to ensure something like this never happened.
If in a particular agency or in a particular unit, if officers know there is no accountability, then you see this more often.
According to reports from the sheriff's office, Janes had improperly involved himself in cases with his family members before and after the incident. Jackson thinks more should be done to stop mishandling investigations in the future.
A new sheriff came into office, and with the threat of being included in having responsibility for the cover-up, he agreed to transfer the file to the FBI.
Newly elected Sheriff Matthew Myers last month asked the FBI to look at the investigation. Jackson had previously petitioned the FBI but was denied. Woods says that's typical because family members often don't have a solid grasp on what makes a good investigation.
Families tend to see conspiracies, tend to feel that justice was not served, and quite frankly, families generally are not in a good position to evaluate whether the investigation was good or not.
Woods says the FBI will likely look into government corruption or a violation of civil rights if they chose to investigate the case. That depends on what they see in the reports. Jackson says even if the FBI doesn't come to a different conclusion about her brother's death, she hopes the process will shed light on what she considers a history of police misconduct.
And I just don't want anything like this to ever happen again. And I want everyone to remember who Cary Owsley was. You know, my only sibling, this great guy that laughed and loved to fish. I want them to remember that, not the way we've had to dissect his death in order to get where we are today with the FBI involved.
Reporter Casey Kuhn is here to talk more about what's next in this case. How is the Sheriff's Department dealing with the criticism?
Well, the current Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Matt Myers, actually hasn't come forth with any comment on this FBI case so far, but he was the one who requested that the FBI look at it shortly after he came in office.
You know, a county sheriff doesn't have as much resources as a big city like Indianapolis. How does that handle into this situation as well?
Well, yeah, like you said, smaller departments just don't have the resources for some aspects of an investigation, for example, an autopsy. And in this case, because it was ruled a suicide, there was no autopsy. And that I talked to an IU professor, or an ISU professor, who said that sometimes when they don't have enough money for an autopsy, they just usually do not issue one.
And we already know there have been some investigators suspended. Were there any other internal investigations or consequences from the sheriff's office?
Right, well, the officers in case were only suspended after an Indianapolis Star article came forth with the missteps that were involved in the investigation. Janes did get 5 days suspension with no pay, and he was supposed to come in front of a board from the Sheriff's Department to decide whether or not he should be fired, and he actually retired 2 days before that happened.
Now, just to be clear, the FBI hasn't decided whether they're going to launch a full investigation. What all goes into that?
Right. Well, like I said, I talked to the professor, and he said that they're going to look at the reports that the sheriff sent them, and they're going to decide whether or not they're going to look at government corruption or a civil case, and they, they're going to decide. They haven't come forth whether or not they're going to decide.
Is there any timeline?
I talked to them
FBI?
today, and they just said that there is nothing to report.
Okay. Casey, thank you very much.
Thank you.